Hi friends, Evolving guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for following along with our collection journey. So today's video is just to show you our master set binder for Prismatic Evolutions. I am using the binder that comes with the binder collection. I like Vault-X binders for my collections, but they don't do special binders for the special sets, and so I could still just pick up one of theirs. At some point I probably will, but for now this is serving the purpose. And so if you've been following the channel, we've opened a total of 42 packs of Prismatic, which is not a lot, but I'm thankful that we've had that access because I know I have not seen a single Prismatic product on store shelves, and we're over 3 weeks after set release. I've been able to pre-order things from a local game store, and so as the products become available, I had some on release, and then as new products, we just had the wave with the surprise box in it. So anyway, this is what our binder looks like after 42 packs. We're going to continue to open, packs as we can get them. I'm to the point now, usually what we do in this channel is we start off just by opening stuff and cataloging what we're pulling. Before we start buying singles, I want to open stuff and see kind of how that goes. But then we always get to a certain point where it just makes more sense after we've had our fun of opening packs. Then it makes sense to move into just buying singles. So we haven't purchased any singles. So what you're seeing in this binder is just what we've pulled. And so yeah, let's get into it. I started the first page here. Let's maybe change our view here. These energy cards have the new kind of cracked ice pattern on them, and then there is the variant that has the kind of shiny, and so I wanted to get at least one of each energy card, which of course is not a problem, but then one of each shiny. And I think I am still missing, actually. It's kind of hard to tell. There's almost a matte feature to these that it's really hard to tell unless you kind of hold it just the right way if it does have that shiny pattern on it. But I think I am just missing the one, the metal energy. I have at least one of the shinies of the rest. So that's my first page. And then we kind of move into the actual set. So you can see here, I think for commons and uncommons, we're doing pretty well. We have including, and then some of the regular rares like the Leafeon, and we're starting to put in this case, I'm putting in, so for example, you see, this is a reverse holo. For me, if I find just the regular reverse holo, not the Pokeball reverse or the Master Ball reverse, but just the regular reverse, I'll put it on top. If we don't have it yet, then I can see that, like we don't have with Execute here. And so you can see we do have some gaps like the Leafeon. We're obviously missing some double rares in this set. We're actually missing the Whimsicott, which is kind of odd. It's one of the few uncommons that we're missing so far. Most of the gaps, though, there's a lot of double rares in this set. I think 25 if memory serves. So some of them we do have, like here's the Flareon that we pulled the other day. But we are missing some of the other double rares. And so we're just going to have to keep after that. Those are going to be, I think, in the long run, those are going to be relatively easy to pick up as singles. They're not going to be too expensive. Some of the evolutions might be a little more expensive, but you can see we're missing Vaporeon. I don't have memorized like all the gaps, but a lot of these gaps at this point, because we have most of the commons and uncommons, these gaps are either regular rares, which is like the holo rare, or they're double rares, and there's, again, quite a few double rares. So you can see, like we did pull the Espeon, so we do have that. And again, this binder, it depends how you think of it. I mean, we've only opened 42 packs, and, we obviously have made a lot of progress, especially with the commons and uncommons, and even a lot of the reverses. We've been putting those in place. But we're still missing, quite a few cards. Again, those double rares aren't going to be too hard. Like, here's a double rare that we did pull ourselves, the Lucario. We do still have some gaps in here that we're going to be filling. We did pull the Umbreon, just the Umbreon double rare. But Umbreon, and we've actually pulled multiple of the Umbreon holo rares, and we have actually the Umbreon reverse, which is great. So that's, definitely, Umbreon, not necessarily my favorite evolution. I don't have a strong opinion on which one is my favorite. And there's the Tyranitar. We did pull that. Again, you can see a few gaps in here. And I think in this first part of the set, again, most of the commons and uncommons going to be certainly relatively easy to pull at some point. Dragapult. So we do have some of the double rares, some of the reverse, or excuse me, some of the regular rares, and some of the reverse holos. But we do have some gaps in here with mostly double rares at this point, again, which we can pick up. And then we have a couple more double rares. I think that's the Noivern and the Terapagos. And then we get into the trainer cards. We're doing pretty well on trainers, and you can see it's a little easier to see. We don't have the reverses on many of them, but we do have quite a few reverses. We move over here. We're doing pretty well on this page. We have several of the reverse holos on that page. We'll flip over here. We are still missing Friends in Paldea, which is kind of a funny one. It's just a regular nothing special about that card, but we just, there are a handful of these random cards that we haven't quite pulled. We are missing one of the A-specs there. We do have A-spec here. We have Prime Catcher A-spec here. This page is full. So our trainer pages look pretty good. And again, I think the A-specs too, I haven't checked prices recently, but I think most of the A-specs aren't going to be that expensive. So I think up to this point, we're doing pretty well. And again, I think in my mind, I mean, from here previous that we just looked at, I mean, that's really going to be the focus, I think, of this initial wave of collecting, building this master set, is just going to kind of nail down the commons, uncommons, regular rares, and double rares, and even the reverses for that first part of the set. Then we get into the secret rare cards, and again, this is where we've actually had some pretty good luck. You can see we've actually pulled all these. We've pulled up quite a few ultra rares. Of course, the problem is, I mean, they are hits and they are pulls, and we do need them for the master set. They're not very expensive. They're almost bulk pricing already, just $1 or $2 for most of these. And so the good news, bad news is that I think it's going to be pretty easy to pick up the ultra rares for this set. Again, keep in mind, no illustration rares in this set, so we go straight from the trainers into the ultra rares. And so the ultra rares, we have a few. I think, again, picking those up, is not going to be too much of a problem. And then we get into, like for a lot of people, the blank pages, right? This is just where all the special illustration rares will go. We have not pulled a special illustration rare. And again, because we haven't purchased any singles, I mean, at this point, and there are some special illustration rares that I think are really cool and probably underrated and undervalued because they're not the evolutions, but there are some really cool cards in here. But even some of those non-evolutions SARs are still pretty expensive. Another empty page, and you saw a preview there. The one card we've pulled at this point, we did pull the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn Hyper Rare, which was in one of our very first packs, so we're pretty lucky to pull that. We've only opened 42 packs. I wouldn't expect, I mean, Hyper Rares are like 1 in every 100 or so packs, I think, in general, so the fact that we pulled one, we're a little bit lucky in that case, but that's it. I mean, you can see we've got like 4 pages of emptiness and then this Teal Mask Hyper Rare, and so that's going to be the real challenge for many collectors, right, is like getting into this set. Just those are going to be very expensive to purchase, but because product is so hard to come by and because pull rates, I mean, they're normal. It's not like they're bad pull rates, but if you get if you get an SIR once every, 70 or 80 packs, then you can open 70 or 80 packs. If you can even find 70 or 80 packs, I mean, we've only been able to open 42, and it's been about a month since the set came out. And so in 42 packs, you're just not going to expect an SAR, and we haven't pulled one. So it's just going to be such a hard set to finish, to master. So I think for my sake, I'm kind of almost given up on mastering this set. I mean, we're going to keep working on it because that's our goal in this channel, and that's my personal collecting goal. But I think, like I said, the focus is going to be everything except the SARs. Can we master that? Can we get all the ultra rares? Can we get all the commons, uncommons, regular rares, double rares? And what I did is I decided, so this is the middle part of the binder. We're halfway through, you can see here. And then what I've done is the Pokeball reverse hollows that we have pulled, I've just started over. It's card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And whenever we pull one of those, I've put it in here. So it's hard to tell sometimes with the sheen and the shine, especially with the sleeves there. With the card sleeve cover things, but you can see there, so these are the Pokeball reverses that we've pulled, and you can see, I mean, this is also going to be, I think this is more attainable. Many of these are relatively affordable, especially for the less desirable Pokemon. So I think getting a lot of these over time is going to be relatively reasonable to do, but probably, again, pretty challenging for some of the reach cards in this set. But you can see we've got 3 on this page. But then you can see we've got kind of a gap, nothing there, and then we get all the way over here. We have the Iron Boulder Pokeball reverse, so that's number 4. Then we have a couple more empty pages. Now, not all of these will be Pokeball reverses because there's not a Pokeball reverse, for example, like the Hollow rares, for the double rares. So some of these there'll be gaps anyway, but you can see, and then we get all the way over here. We've got the Dracloak, we've got the Hoot Hoot, the Miltank. Those are all Pokeball reverses that we have. And then we get over here, we have the Noibat, and then 3 of the trainers, Area Zero Underdepths, Black Belts Training, and then our last is Briar. So we have, I don't know, I'd have to count those up, maybe 10 or 11 of those, which is, there's 100 total. And then what I did is kind of a couple more blank pages until we would finish up, and then there it is. There's our one Master Ball reverse. I don't know if you can quite tell. You see the M there. We have one Master Ball Reverse. Again, we've opened 42 packs and we have one, so that's, you know, a little under what we would expect, and then the rest of the pages are empty. So that's our Prismatic Evolutions binder so far. I don't know what yours looks like if you're working for a master set. I'd love to hear your comments in the below the video to see how it's going for you. That's how it's going for us when it comes to Prismatic Evolutions. Like I said, I think it's going to be an almost impossible master set for most people, but we're going to keep at it, and especially I think, you know, thinking about smaller term goals, so those commons, uncommons, regular rares, and double rares, and ultra rares, I think all of that's pretty possible. And then we'll just have to go from there. I think as any SAR that we get for this set is going to be probably bonus. Similarly with Master Balls, if we pull those, that's great, but I don't think I'm going to be seeking probably intentionally a master set of Master Balls. Like I said, I think the Pokeball reverses are possible. And certainly the regular reverses I think we can manage. So anyway, that's where we're at. We're going to keep opening. Again, I have some pre-orders in for the additional products that are going to be coming out thanks to my local game store, but I still have yet to find it in the wild, and I'm hoping that in the long run we will find more Prismatic on shelves. But I don't know, it could be a 151, even it's like 151 on steroids as far as, like, you know, when it shows up, people grab it. And so I don't know, we'll see how much of this we get to open over time, and hopefully Pokemon prints it into the ground so everyone has a chance to open as much as they want, but we'll see. So that's where we are now. Thanks for following along. Thanks for following the channel, and we'll catch you sometime soon.